My freshman year was rough. It was really hard for me to find my place in a social food chain such as high school, especially being in and out of the hospital due to a knee surgery that turned into a lot of complications. Towards the end of my freshman year, I became gravely depressed with the situation. My guidance counselor suggested that I join clubs, and I joined as many as I possibly could, but yet I still felt lost within this food chain, and I didn't belong. Then one day in the hallway, I found a friend from cheerleading, and I honestly haven't talked to her since I was 10 years old, and I told her about my situation, and she asked if I'd like to join her in being a manager of our varsity district champion football team. Sports was always where my heart was at. She got me into the manager position, and that spring I would ride my bike up to school every day, no matter what it took to be there, and I would ride it home every day after practice, and soon I fell in love with the program and the team that it consisted of. After she graduated, it was my job to lead the other managers and become the coach's right hand. As a manager, you have to come to practice early and prepare for practice, which consisted of like 10 to 15 minutes before it would start. As I would walk up, I'd have to unlock all the doors and soon get ready for practice. I remember when I first walked through these doors and through the weight room, the smell was terrible. It was honestly a war zone, one of the worst smells I've ever smelled in my life. But as time went on, you get adjusted to it. And that's one of the many things my friend Asia showed me as she prepared to graduate and I prepared to become the head manager. Becoming the head manager was honestly one of the greatest achievements I've ever been, and I've never been more proud of myself. I've developed a lot of relationships with the other managers and players, and they've honestly become someone that I can go to and someone I can call my family. And this became my motivation to showing up every day on time, because in a few words or less, being a manager meant being a mom to a bunch of 14 to 18-year-old jocks, and believe it or not, they can be very needy. After I unlocked everything, I began to make my way to the equipment room. I'd unlock the door, and I'd always get confused with the light switch, believe it or not, no matter how many days I spent there. And I'd begin by putting away leftover laundry that we did from yesterday. As I began, we organized it by pant size, color, and then whether they're game pants or practice pants. After that, I would look and see that we had leftover jerseys left out from Friday night, and I'd begin to put them in their numbered cubbies so that each player knew where they can get their jersey. Afterwards, I'd hang up any left out equipment. Mostly the most common one was helmets, so I'd hang up all the helmets. Once all the stuff was put up, like clockwork, someone would have forgotten their pants or something. It was my job to look for the right pants and make sure they get the right size so that they are completely ready before warm-up starts. It was very difficult because some days a lot of kids forgot a lot of stuff. Once all the football players were situated, me and the other managers, we began to clean and reorganize things after Friday night. That kind of got a little hectic after the game was soon. As soon as we finished that, we would take a bunch of balls and cones and ladders out to the football field. And then it was time to start water. We'd get the water boy and then we'd begin filling it up with ice. And then once we got it filled with a bunch of ice, it was our job to take it to the hose and fill it up with water. Now, half the time, a lot of students would watch the football practice because they either didn't have the grades and they wanted to be on the football team, or they're injured. So it was a journey. Once the water was filled, it was time to clean the locker rooms. Me and the managers would take a time to clean the locker rooms, put the stools up, vacuum the floor, and then we would help the coaches run practice. Every 5 minutes, we'd have to ring the numbers and shout out numbers to tell them that it was time to rotate and do other drills. After that, we would help our coaches by setting up the weight program. They would give us a calendar with all the weights we'd have to do, and we'd write on the boards and give the players the proper exercise for their proper position for the proper week to do their exercises. After that, the players would begin lifting and doing what they properly needed. The 3 years that I was a football manager in my school, I learned and developed so many skills that I probably would have not learned in any ordinary club or sport within the school's programs. I made so many friends on and off the field that I wouldn't know where I would be without this program. This program took me out of the rut and it put me into the social food chain of the high school, not as a jock, not as a nerd, not as a geek, but someone who I can be proud of. Someone who was friends with everyone, not just the gothics, not just the nerds, someone who was friends with everyone. And I'm forever grateful for this football program